I put her in a papoose when she was 2 weeks old on the front of me. I rode her around to put her to sleep. So she was raised on a horse. She started riding by herself by the time she was 4. We trail rode, we had a song that we sang. She was one of these kids that was the light. And my biggest fear when she passed away is that nobody would know her.
Are you riding all by yourself? Say, giddy up. All right. Hey, baby. Wonder what's in it. It's a big old box. Oh, wow.
Pull back. There you go.
Every time.
Hold on, you got it. You're kicking him. There you go. Then you're going to have to hold on.
What time's this therapy?
11.
11. Well, man, you got all day to eat. What you gonna order?
I'm order everything on the menu.
I can talk a lot to Beau.
Oh no.
About yesterday. About yesterday, Beau. What about yesterday?
I don't know, man.
You told me when I left Sunday night that you was getting up and going to breakfast yesterday. Monday morning, you didn't show up.
I didn't?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't show up. That's because I slept in. I slept in a little bit longer than
Yeah.
When Beau was 10, he was in a terrible accident. He was shot in the head just above his right eyebrow. Once he woke from the coma, it's not anything like you see on TV. He had no muscle strength. We would have to help him just to be able to sit up in the bed. He wasn't able to eat. He couldn't talk. He had no use at all of his left side at that point. He's with me, I'd say 80% of his life, he's with me most of the time because he has such poor short-term memory. At this point, Beau has graduated therapy enough that he only does occupational and physical therapy once a week, and he doesn't do speech therapy any longer. You okay? Let me go up a little bit. Is it hurting? Is it really hurting, or is it Beau hurting? It's really hurting? Okay. Did you ride horses yesterday? Did you ride bareback?
We had no idea she was sick at that time. No way we could have known. But this is the last ride that she took on her horse. It's the last picture I have of her alive. Her horse Jack and her had a bond like nobody else. You go through such a shock when something like that happens. The day she passed, all I could think about was, I need to be free of all this. I need to be settled. And so I went to the barn, because that's the place I always went, because I consider that my happy place. I rode him out that day, and he was the calmest I've ever seen him. I got out in the woods and got off of him, and he stood there and let me cry over his shoulder like nobody else would. And that horse never moved a muscle. There is no doubt in my mind he didn't mourn her. He was that sensitive. He wouldn't eat. He literally mourned. He literally mourned. Hey,
Most
do you
times.
remember when you first started?
I was riding Beau.
Yeah, and you could hardly balance.
I know.
And now look at you.
I used to get on the horse and I would lean and
Yes.
all over the place.
Had the sidewalkers. Yeah, now you're
now I can do everything.
You've
pretty
even
much on my own.
cantered. You really love cantering, don't you?
Well, who? You know I do. You know I do. Sometimes.
And how many times have you fell off?
I can't even count.
Let's see. You fell off the Chigger one time. The stage remember in between the stage and Pistol one time?
Yes, and I had you there to catch me.
Yeah.
And I said I was falling for you.
You said you fell for me. That's right. Then you remember your T-shirt that Lulu got you?
What did it say?
If you can read this, put me back up on my horse.
Put me back on my horse. Good times.
Right. If you can read this, put me back up on my horse.
My foot's still
Your foot up.
Your foot's still in there. There we go. There we go, Eddie. That's how you do it.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
Because I got shot by that bullet. And that's how I'm the way I am. But if you ask me, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because after that, after I got out of the hospitals and I was recovering, I met just the best people in the world, and those people are kind of like family to me. God was looking over me that day, and He knew, and He knew I had more life to live than just me at 10 years old. God has a plan for everybody, and His plan is working for me right now.
Every single time I see a rider get on that horse and smile from ear to ear, or just giggle when they move, or see that horse look into that child's eye or that adult's eye or that rider's eye and see that connection, makes it all worth it. I think that's what makes this place work, is that you have Angie's heart, you have my heart, and you have Christy's heart in this place. We've put our heart and soul in this place. And the volunteers that work here, I've had volunteers tell me they get more out of it than they think the riders do. You can see the good Lord in this place. Anybody that comes into this barn feels the love that that kid had for her horse. Cassidy is known in this place. Her little ray of sunshine is everywhere in this program. There isn't a kid that walks in this door, a volunteer that walks in this door, a donor, anybody that don't know that child. Without change, there would be no butterflies. And of course, butterflies are made from a cocoon and, a worm, and they turn into a beautiful butterfly. So that's kind of the way this place has started. We started small and we've blossomed and we've turned into this beautiful butterfly. If I can tell anybody out there that's struggling on a daily basis with anything, you give it to God and He's going to take care of it. If there's anything good that can come out of that child being gone, it's this place and what it does and what it stands for. Because everything here that happens is happening because that child is gone. I think that she looks and she says, "This is awesome. It became all this. Mom, you're doing the right thing. Keep it up."
We're gonna ride on.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.